Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another devotional this morning. My name is James Bennett at our Cabot campus. Over the course of the next week, we are going to be studying a biblical perspective on authority. We're going to be looking at how that correlates to God and God's authority within our marriages, with our kids, being in a position of authority over people, maybe at our workplace, or being in a position under authority at our business or workplace. We're also going to look at authority within the church. And importantly, how and when do we step out from under authority? I think it's going to be a great week, but I think it's important that anytime we're looking at a subject, especially like this, that it is important and also encouraging that we can look to the greatest example that we have, and that is Christ. Look at Jesus' example. So I want to share this cool story here in Matthew chapter 8, starting in verse 5. It says this: When Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him and asked for help. "Lord," he said, "my servant lies at home paralyzed and in terrible suffering." And Jesus said to him, "I will go and heal him." The centurion replied, "Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof, but just say the word and my servant will be healed, for I myself am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. I tell this one, go, and he goes, and that one, come, and he comes. I say to my servant, do this, and he does it." When Jesus heard this, he was astonished. Other translation says Jesus was amazed and said to those who were following him, "I tell you the truth, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith." It goes on to say in verse 13, "Then Jesus said to the centurion, go, it will be done just as you believed it would." And his servant was healed at that very hour. I think it's incredible. I think it's awesome that it says that Jesus was amazed. When I read that, sometimes like, how can Jesus be amazed? Like, if he is God in the flesh, it's not like he was surprised, but he is amazed because even this centurion, who is a Gentile, non-Jewish, he understands the power and importance of authority. Now, it says that Jesus was amazed at his great faith, but I think we have to really look at it was his faith connected to his understanding of authority that amazed Jesus. And I think that that is important in our own lives. You can see over and over again, the word talks about authority. It says that all authority is established by God. Not all good authority, not all authority we like or don't like, all authority. And you can see a direct correlation between receiving God's favor, his grace, his peace, and his blessings, the supernatural movement of God, and how it relates to your understanding of authority. In my own life, with my personal testimony, this is one of the most powerful lessons that the Lord has taught me. At different points in my faith early on, and even when I was in Bible school, I had some difficult authority. I was under difficult authority. I wrestled with that. I struggled with that. I would say that I teetered on rebellion at different points with that authority. But the lesson that I ultimately learned was this: that when it came to submitting under authority, even difficult authority I didn't agree with, that it was much more of an issue of me trusting God than it was an issue of whether or not they were the kind of authority that I wanted. And when the Lord taught me that and showed me, hey, if you know that I've put you under this person, if God has called you into a place, whatever that season is and wherever that place is, then God is not surprised with the authority that is there. And God is much more interested in cultivating your character and your faith in trusting him even when you don't like that authority. So as we look at this subject over the course of this week, I would encourage you to enter it with an open heart, because the fact is we are all under authority. Even if we are at the top of our corporation or business, whatever it is, we are still under authority. And I would encourage you to look at your heart and say, am I submitted first and foremost in trusting God that He has placed me here? And if He has placed me here, can I have faith that He's in control no matter what, no matter how I feel about it? And I think if we can approach it with that, I think God's going to teach us some cool stuff. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a good week, diving into this subject of a biblical perspective on authority. Love you guys. Have a great day.